Are you guilty of holding on to something you don't want or use anymore? Maybe it's an old cell phone, batteries, or a bookshelf, and you just don't know where you can get rid of them. Well, how about the reverse of that then? Buyer's guilt. How many times have you bought something, got it home, and realised, I don't actually need that? Well, they're the two topics. My next guest is here to discuss the acquiring and discarding of items and how we can all help prevent waste. Bonnie Black is from Little Miss Organised. Hello.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Good. Bonnie, why do we keep things that we don't want? What's going on with this hoarding?
Well, there's that guilt factor, that social responsibility of I don't want to just contribute to landfill. And there's a bit of scaremongering going around with a lot of the national media of, you know, what the big op shops are doing and all these behind-the-scenes stories of all these things going into waste. And people see these and think, oh, you know, the items that I'm giving are in perfectly good condition, yet they're not going to someone who needs them, or they're not raising money for charities that need them. They're just going into landfill. So there's that social responsibility of who can I trust? What charity can I trust with my stuff? Where can it go that I know it will actually get to the people who truly need it?
So how can we get rid of items that we don't want that are still in pretty good nick?
There's lots of different options for getting rid of things that we don't need. And charities aren't really the only place that we can give things to. One of the first things that you can do is pass it down to someone you know. So whether it's family or friends, but making sure that you're not passing it on to someone who doesn't actually want it and they're just, you know, they're just taking it out of guilt themselves. So making sure that, they need it, they want it, they're happy to have it. The second option, if no one you know wants it or needs it, is to try selling online if you think it's worthwhile the time to do so. So either selling online, maybe a garage sale or a market stall. And just a note on that as well, a lot of people tend to overvalue their items when they're doing garage sales and selling online and even market stalls. And you need to really turn around and say, what would you be happy with purchase price if you were the buyer? Because in clothes, for, you know, an example, people really overvalue how much their clothes are worth and how much somebody's going to pay for them. So realistically, you should only be trying to charge between $1 and $5 an item for clothing, and maybe a little bit more if it's excellent designer quality. But people really overcharge for a lot of stuff at garage sales, and that's probably why they end up at the end of the day with not a lot in their pocket. And most of it's still there, and they kind of think, oh, that was such a waste of time. So really make it nice and cheap, and make sure that you're on a spot where people can really see you and you've got high traffic volume.
A lot of people go online now with the even community. I'm on one that's actually suburb specific.
Yes.
Which is interesting. And I noticed the $1 to $5 things go really fast.
Yeah, it's amazing actually. And you kind of think, wow, who wants to spend the time that it takes to post the ad, to do the description for $1 amount, but that can really add up if one buyer is buying, 10 or 20 or 30 items. So those local groups are amazing because everybody's local. You're not driving an hour to go and pick something up. So it's worthwhile just driving somewhere for a $5 item rather than, taking a 45-minute trip.
I had a garage sale a couple of weeks ago. One woman took 62 books.
Wow.
Because they were all $1.
Oh, yeah, well, that's it.
And some of them were really good cookbooks and things too.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and individually price everything. Just take it. Like, I want it gone.
Well, that's it.
But they're still in good nick.
Yeah.
And I said to her, look, there are cookbooks over there. She said, oh, I don't cook much. And then 10 minutes later, she had every cookbook. And off she went. But, when you're done, when you're done, if I haven't looked at it for a couple of years, I'm not going back there, let's face it.
Well, that's it. And with cookbooks in particular these days, there's so much online.
People get it online.
Yes. Yeah. And we're all such sharers these days. If we have a good recipe, we want to share it online. We don't want to just, keep it to ourselves. So, that's really important too.
Now, how about things, Bonnie, like old cell phones and batteries?
So there's lots of different programs that actually recycle your old cell phones and your old batteries. So some of the supermarkets actually have battery boxes now, and you can put your AA, AAA, DEC, all those kind of batteries in there. Just ask at your local supermarket if you haven't seen one there. And maybe it might be a community initiative that your local supermarket is just waiting for you to ask them to present a battery box for you to do your recycling. Yeah. But there's lots of programs like Taronga Zoo have a For the Wild program where you can,
nice.
you can send your mobile phone and it helps raise money to keep gorilla habitats going and that kind of thing. So that's one that we like to support. A few years ago, I actually was in Sydney and went to the zoo, and I think I took about 30 of these satchels. So I've just been slowly using them as our clients have mobiles that they want to recycle. But there's cancer programs and other sort of charities that also have recycling packs as well.
Yeah. Well, as part of War on Waste, a few of us are being asked to help with Dressed for Success, the charity Dressed for Success, where you give women the clothes, really good clothes that they can wear to interviews and things like that. The tricky part of about that for me is that I haven't been to an interview for nigh on 20 years.
So you don't know what to wear?
I have I've been wearing jeans to work.
Well, that's the thing about radio, isn't it? It doesn't really matter so much.
I'm actually in a suit. But it's such a good, I'll of course have something that I can donate and hopefully help somebody feel, really good about themselves as they go back to work. But it's programs like that are really important that, it is a great way of saying, here's a jacket. I have something in mind. It's a really lovely long black jacket I've had for a while that's got hot pink lining.
Oh, baby.
I just need to take it to the dry cleaner. But, that's probably the one that I will be donating. It's still in perfect condition. And every time I wore it, I felt good in it. So I'm hoping that somebody else will wear it and once again feel great in it. So, and I'm sure that women have these clothes in their wardrobe. Now, whether it doesn't fit anymore for, for one reason or the other, it's just not what you'd wear or whatever. There are charities that will take these items of clothing from you and really will put it to good use.
And I think that's where the knowledge is power thing comes in, because a lot of people who maybe are not so connected online don't know about these charities that aren't, the Smith family or the local big op shop chain. So they think, I've got this stuff, and where can I send it? Where can it go? And we've got a really good list of resources on our website actually that we're currently updating as well to include more, because we have so many little charities that we like to give our stuff to. So my house can be a bit of a bomb site at times, or my office anyway, because, things will come in and the girls will come and say, I've got this jacket or this suit set and it's for Dress for Success. And I go, okay, let's put it in that box. And, we'll wait till that box is a bit full and then do a donation drop off there. But it's so important to us and it's so important to our clients that we actually have things that go directly to where they're needed rather than setting in an op shop where they might not get used and they might just get dumped.
Yeah. So what's the first step people should take if they want to get organised and sort out the things they don't need anymore from the things that they do?
First step is definitely to start small and actually work through what you need and what your goals are. So if you've got a goal in mind, then you can actually work out what the journey is and where you're going. So, for example, a lot of people hold on to treadmills.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because we're all going to use them.
We got rid of one of those too. I had it for 3 years. I still don't know if it works. Pretty sure it does.
They just become towel racks. That's it. They just, hang our clothes and towels and stuff on them. No, we need to know what our goal is and what we're currently using, because we've got so many things that we kind of look at and think, that's really useful and I could use it, and I did buy it with the intention of using it, but it's been a couple of years and I haven't, so why am I still holding on to it? So people really need to kind of have a bit of a personal assessment of, what's my values, what's my priorities right now, because if you've got other priorities, and especially if you've moved house recently or you've had a new baby or a new job or death, divorce, any of those big 5 things, you need to work out, is this stuff really going to matter to me?
Yeah.
In 6 months' time, or can I just offload it and allow some room for, some new, more positive things? Yeah, exactly.
So what about acquiring items? Any tips to stop buying things we don't need?
Oh, definitely. So when you're shopping and you see something and you think, that's really cool, or, I'd really like that, or it's really pretty, there's 3 really good questions to ask yourself. The first one is, do I have something like this already that's in perfectly usable condition? That
is my big question when I go clothes shopping, because I have a certain look that I like. Whether anyone else does, who knows, but I like it. And I find myself having to stop myself, once again, black jackets, and say, Oh, I love this. I think I already have it, or something like
or
it.
several like
Put
it.
Yeah, or maybe 5 like it. Put it back on the rack, Kelly. Yeah, and I'm sure other people do the same, where you have something, a certain cut or something that you like,
Yeah.
and you find yourself buying 5 or 6 of the same.
The temptation to buy can be really overwhelming. And I mean, I'm not a shopper. I really dislike going to the shops.
I don't know what that sentence means. I'm not a shopper? What do you mean you're not a shopper?
But it's probably because I have 2 young kids with me and they always crack it.
You're not going shopping then.
Yeah. It's just not that fun anymore. No, I actually went this morning to the shops and I have to admit, even for myself, who's a bit of a minimalist, I have to ask myself these questions as well when I'm out there, because I see something and I think, oh, that's really cool, or I could really use that, and oh, it's a great price. And you have to stop and say, do I have something just like it already?
Move away from the rack, Bonnie.
Yeah. Move away. So the second question to ask yourself, if you're worried about buying and you need to avoid it, if you feel that you need it, how have you gotten along so far without it?
It's been missing in my life.
It's that little piece that's been missing, you know.
Yeah. Are you still thinking about it 3 days later?
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the next question kind of comes into it. What's the worst that'll happen if I don't acquire it and one day I wish I had?
Oh, yes, that's a really good question. Because the answer would mostly be nothing. Nothing's
exactly.
going to happen.
We're really quite clever. We can improvise. I mean, I was thinking about this last night for some reason, because we only have one set of sheets for our bed, and we've got a nice big queen bed. And whenever it's washing day, the sheets come off in the morning. They get washed in the, dried in the sunshine, and they're back onto the bed at night.
Yep.
And I know people have said to me before, but what happens if, say, someone's sick, or, you know, one of the kids comes and vomits all over the bed and it's cold and rainy and you can't get them back on? And you know what? We have had a couple of times where something like that's happened and you just improvise. What's wrong with sleeping on a couple of towels or the doona cover or...
For a night.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to kill you. It's improvising.
I've only got two sets.
That's pretty good.
I gave away a whole lot of linen as well, like sets of doona covers. At one stage, because I'm a bit of a Manchester freak. You know how people have their thing for someone
stationery or Manchester or shoes.
For me, it's a Manchester, and it's genetic. And doona covers, and I gave away 8 or 9 sets of doona covers.
Wow,
that's insanity. What was I thinking? But I mean, that was over the years.
Yeah,
but they were all still in really good condition.
Well, because you had so many to choose from, so they never wore out.
But I'm sure other people do too. But when you think about it, there was 1 or 2 that stayed on there most of the time.
Yeah.
And the same with sheets. You get your favourite set for whatever reason. And
it's the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, it is. 80% you use something, 20% everything else.
Yep, that's exactly right.
What about buying second hand? Is that a good thing to try and do?
Yes, absolutely. We fully believe in recycling and repurposing. And in fact, me personally, when we need things in our house, I will try and look online and see if I can buy it secondhand somewhere before actually going to a store. Not necessarily clothes so much, because clothes tend to be, you know, fast and cheap and all that sort of thing anyway these days. But, if we need any sort of furniture or even baby gear, try and buy secondhand, because you get it a lot cheaper. Someone else has paid the full price for it, and it's like a brand new car. As soon as you drive that car off the showroom floor, what the price decreases, or the value decreases by down to 80% or something like that. And it's the same thing with secondhand goods. Someone could have bought something, barely used it, or gently used it, and you're picking it up at less than half the price.
Well, we did that with Mackenzie's change table when she was a bub. We bought it secondhand, and then it was fine, and we sold it on, I think, more than we bought it for.
Well, that's always nice.
Yeah, because it was still in really good nick. So, you know, I think a lot of that stuff. But when you don't realise how much your baby actually doesn't need until you have one, and then you realise how much ridiculous amount of money you've spent. Yep,
it's crazy, and everybody wants that euphoric feeling of buying a gift for your child.
Yeah.
But you're the one that's left with all the stuff.
Exactly. And look, the other thing that I might throw in, look on social media like Facebook for, like, if there are particular brands, there's a particular brand of clothing I like, and they've got a site that for Australia that sells it. Yeah, at a third, because people are just, you know, I'm sick of it. Here, do you want it? You know, smoke-free home, pet-free home, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And, you know, you can buy a top for $20 for
Yeah, these
It's
swapping
relatively
sites
new. They're
are
really
so
good.
good because it's like communal shopping.
So we're all just throwing our stuff at each other,
Yeah.
basically.
But I mean, you
why
have
not?
mothers groups have these swap meets and mums come and they bring their old toys and, oh, wow, like I haven't had that before. Let's have that and you can have all my old stuff. And what you no longer want, you no longer love, someone else thinks is the greatest thing ever.
That's it. Some other kids going to love it. Some great tips in there. Bonnie Black, thank you. What's your website name?
www.littlemissorganised.com.au